Ibrahim Karanja.
Hi Mhesh, how are you?
Fiti sana salama. Karibu sana.
Nimefika Kiharu.
Nashukuru sana.
Niko ground.
Nashukuru sana.
Yes, how is everything?
Everything is good.
Yes.
When you requested for this interview,
you told me I have to come to Kiharu.
I told you no, hakuna maneno ya Nairobi.
Yes, why so?
Because I am a public servant and I should bring you to where I serve, not where I live.
Okay.
Because I'll be doing a different thing if I take you to my home. And I am glad that we have been able to do a lot with the people of Kiharu.
Yes.
And that's why I decided we actually come. This is our home today. This is a secondary school.
St. Paul Gikuo Secondary School.
Yeah, this is a day school.
It's a day school.
Actually, a new secondary school.
Oh, it's new.
It's new.
Okay. So you started this school when?
So this school was started, if I'm not wrong, during Corona year.
Yes.
Or slightly after.
Okay.
Because we did our first KCSE last year. And 7 transitioned to university.
Okay.
So we actually decided to choose this school because of the proximity of you going back to Nairobi.
Yes, because I need to go back as soon as possible.
Yes.
Immediately after this interview.
Yes.
You say you started it around Corona, and right now I'm seeing a complete school.
It's a complete school.
What work went into it in terms of investment of money, in terms of even resources, your time, and the time for the people here? What work went into this?
Let me give you the context so that you get how we implement our projects here. Kiharu is a very large constituency.
Yeah.
Where we are, you can live here and go back to Nairobi, and somebody else lives and goes to the other corner of Kiharu. Let's say a place like Muraradia or Gakorwe.
Yes.
You might reach Nairobi before the person reaches there. It's among the most expansive constituencies in this region. We have around 112 public primary schools.
112 public primary schools.
Primary schools, like this one next year.
I've seen St. Paul. Yes, yes.
And day schools, we are now around 65 because we started like 7 new from scratch. And out of all those public primary schools, all, without exception, all classrooms are tiled.
What do you
All. You can choose any school randomly. I will not take you to the one I want. I will take you to the one you choose. And this kind of work we've done here, this cabro works and landscaping, by this holiday we'll have done our 52nd.
Secondary school?
Both, exactly.
Okay.
Because most of the primary schools have proximity to day secondary schools.
Yes, sure.
So just the way you've seen, we have worked on the primary school, and together with the secondary, that's what we usually do.
So because at times there is a, should I say, mismatch in terms of priority amongst leaders. When we do tiles, this is what we can see. But is it what the school needs in terms of, many people would say a school would first need learning material.
Yes, very good.
So if it's a secondary school, they have a functional laboratory and all that before getting to aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
Yes. So are we doing tiles because the other necessities are there, or is it aesthetics?
Now, when I was given this opportunity in my first term, we took data for all our institutions. And after taking the data, we were very meticulous. We visited all our public primary schools. We could take how the windows are, the flooring, the mabati, the roof, everything, including the corridor. So we took data for all our classrooms because we wanted to be data-driven.
Yes.
Then we realized one thing. The kind of work we do must save us money in the future. That's how tiles came in.
Yes.
Because we realized every time you do a common floor, it takes just 2 terms. Najua shule ni inakwaruzwa na viti. Then you have to redo the floor again. So it became the cheapest route for us in the long run to do the flooring. So for us,
tiles, initially investment heavy. Initially it's heavy, but
initially it's actually not too heavy. It's not too heavy.
Okay.
But what is for sure in the long run is that
it's cheaper.
It's much cheaper. Cheaper to clean in terms of water, but even more durable. The tiles we did in my first term, Nahuko, 2018, they are still intact.
Oh.
Now, this is how we did it. I actually went to one of the manufacturers of tiles. Okay. And I requested them to do a short course for our foodies here in Kiharu. So we did a 2-day course for normal masons on how to fix tiles. We did a crash course of 2 days.
For how many fundis?
150.
Okay.
Then we did another 150 for professional painting.
You trained them yourself?
We trained here.
These are skills that they'll actually use later.
Past the school, exactly. Yes. Past the works we are doing. We actually did that with Crown Paints, with one of the manufacturers of painting. They did it for free.
Yes.
Why? Because after we did our numbers, we realized, yes, we are set off to do a lot.
Yes.
But there are some skills that we had deficiencies on. And that is the skill of tiles and professional painting. The others, we had abundance of it in Kiharu.
Okay.
Why am I saying that? The reason why you see we are able to achieve a lot of work with minimum money is because in Kiharu we do what is called labor-based.
Okay, what is that? What is labor-based?
There's no one who came here as a contractor. All these works you're seeing here, the contractor was the community.
Oh. How? I mean, there are guidelines to, say, procurement.
Very well.
There is what the law would tell you in terms of procurement, and you should even be able to back it up.
Very good.
In terms of paperwork.
Documentation.
Yes, documentation. When you involve the community to do this in terms of labor work, how do you regularize it with public procurement laws?
We do labor-based because these are community projects. It's actually provided for in the law.
Okay.
And we consulted all the agencies that would be concerned, including the Office of the Auditor General. And by the way, for the last 2 years, Kiharu has gotten the highest level of audit report from the Office of the Auditor General.
Yes.
Labor-based requires a lot of documentation because you source things piecemeal. If it's materials, you source candle.
Yes.
If it's labor, you procure also separately. What does that guarantee us? When I bring 1 million shillings to any school in Kiharu, and you take another one in another constituency, this other one of another constituency, by the time you deliver a check of 1 million as an MP, parents sing for you, shairis are said for you by the students, but by the time you leave the gate, you leave with 160,000.
In terms of taxation?
That's VAT only.
Yes.
You also leave with, let's say, 30% profit margin.
Yes.
Of the person who will do the work.
Yes. So that is 46% gone.
For 60,000 is gone before you start the work. Now, because of the expansiveness of the constituency, we thought if we do that, that is our widest door to not doing much. So we decided to recalibrate, do the heavy work. Labor-based is very heavy in terms of documentation. Because as a project, would have a file like this. Because mabati is procured. Tiles are separately. The other thing we did, we took standards.
Yes.
We standardized. If you go to all our institutions, the doors are the same or close to the same. The aesthetics may vary kidogo, but the doors are largely the same. The gauge is the same. The size, windows are the same. Why? We set standards including the ceiling payment.
Okay.
So when you come to such a school and you want delicious done windows, they are done by the person nearest to this place because standards are already set in terms of gauge, size, where it opens, whether inside or outside. When it comes to, for example, plastering, we have also standardized including payment. It's not kibarua per day.
Yes.
In a classroom, we have 4 walls. They are actually all different. One has 3 windows. One has 2 windows and a door. One has a blackboard in front. And the other one, we also put the rear one.
All right.
So each, there is the amount we pay.
So when you say that it's done by the fundi nearby, for instance, the windows have been zimechomwa hapa.
Yes, nearby.
Yes. How do you select who does it? Because I can imagine, for instance, around where we are, there are several people who can do windows.
It's very vigorous. You know, we also have to follow the procurement laws. That's why I'm saying it's very paper heavy. You procure them before into what is called framework contract, so that by the time you are doing construction near them, they are already in the list of contractors. But they also know you can't overcharge here.
So you actually sort of shortlist.
Exactly. So after that, then when you come around here, you realize majority of them are already have already gone through the procurement process, but they also know the price.
Yes.
But the beauty of doing that is that if you look at the workmanship of even this school, the person who did it was not doing it as a career.
Yes.
They were doing it for their children.
And that is the essence of involving the community.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you look at the workmanship, like here, or any other place that's a laboratory complex,
yes,
you realize that the people doing it, beyond the money, they are doing it for their children because they are part of the local community. And also the ownership of the project also becomes very
easy.
Very
is it because, are we doing, say, cabros and tiles and what I call aesthetics because the other necessary requirements are done? Or is it for political gain? The reason I'm asking this, you'd find in some areas, say, an MP chooses to buy buses using CDF money.
Yeah.
But a school has a bus, but it does not have a functional laboratory. So you end up, what is the priority in this case? So in terms of learning, I would ask, in a secondary school, we'd need a very functional laboratory, we'd need very functional classrooms first, the learning materials. I know the Ministry of Education will provide books and all that, but the most important things in terms of learning first, is it that they are there in Kiharu for us to do this, or is this for political gain?
Karaja, first of all, let me preempt that there is no aid to work in any public institution. The demands for resources and money is endless.
Yes.
Because every public institution has its life. Having life means it's progressive every now and then. There is progress. It has its own life. Now, having said that, this is a new secondary school. It has, of course, the classrooms. That's the laboratory complex over there. This year alone, we have done 9 or so laboratories in JSS alone.
Okay.
In primary schools now, for JS. We have also done many in senior secondary, like now the one we are in here today. If you go to the neighboring school, Kabiro Secondary, they also have a very nice laboratory. So we work in tandem.
Okay.
And as I put it clearly earlier, some of the works we do them because we don't also want to keep on reinvesting money for the same reason.
Yes.
You come here and do floor. The next year you have to allocate another money for
the floor.
Once we do it this way, we are done. And
forever and ever.
For the longest time. Because the kind of tiles we buy, we have a guarantee of, I think, 25 years.
Wow.
And we make sure we buy the highest class because we don't also want to keep on doing the same thing over and over. We want, when we do the classroom, next time we are doing something different. Like how we did in this institution.
Yes.
We started with this block. Then I think we went to this one. And recently we did the laboratory complex. So it's never at a go.
Yes.
You do it gradually. Then secondly, maybe to wrap up that, beyond infrastructure, you know, Karanja, education is two-faceted. One, there is infrastructure.
Yes.
But number two, there is a soft side of education.
Of education, I agree.
The soft side, this is what we do. We give normal bursaries for universities and all the other colleges, etc.
Do you give maximum bursary, 40% of your CDF?
We give, of course, 40% because of how big the constituency is. But, listen to this. We run a program here called Kiharu Masomo Bora.
Okay.
And it covers all our around 65-day secondary schools. I say around because there are some that will be starting in January, new ones. And it was covering 15,000 learners when we had one from 1 to 4. But last year it was covering 12,500 learners because we had 3 classes in senior secondary.
Yes, sure.
Now, school fees here in Kiharu is 1,000 shillings per term.
For all the learners?
For all the learners, including the ones who come here at Gekuo Secondary School.
So I read about the school fees and being 1,000. And I really wanted to understand, so how does this work? Because I think, if I'm not wrong, government policy is that it's about 3,000.
It's actually, there's no government policy. It's a local arrangement because it is supposed to cater for shortfall in capitation, but also food.
Food, yes.
Lunch. It's usually between 4,000 and 5,000 per term.
Yes.
Anyway,
and this is standard countrywide?
It's almost standard. That's
so how do you achieve 1,000 here?
In 2023, when I was assuming now the second term, we decided to do something that is challenging. And we went to all our secondary schools, took the data, tried to check this money that is charged, how it is used. And we realized a few things. One, schools in Kenya run like insurance companies. When you charge school fees as a principal, you actually also account for the people who will not pay. So when I called the principals, they told me, when 70% of the fees is paid, the school runs.
Yes.
So they factor in even that. Secondly, we realized the reason why fees is that way is because of the supplies they buy, especially food. There is the quantity issue.
Yes.
In a school like this, you buy small. But then the bigger thing is something called value for money. Time value for money.
Yes.
Every supplier in any school in Kenya, even those who are watching us, they know when you supply mahindi or beans in a school, in January,
way later,
you may be paid the next January.
That is true.
So as a supplier, because you're a businessman, you factor in that finance cost.
Time value for money.
Time value for
I
money.
agree.
So we decided if the schools can do bulk buying, how would it be? So we tabulated how much a learner eats per day, how much a learner takes in terms of sugar per day. We were able to come up with a formula, which is generic.
Yes.
The long and short of it, I also was lucky to get some assistance from one non-governmental organization, gave me some supplies in terms of sugar.
Yes.
So the rest we did what I would call backward aggregation. Backward aggregation is, instead of buying, this school is buying 2 sacks, the other one 1.5, aggregate, bargain, buy cheaper. But then after buying cheaper, because you're not keeping money for the supplier.
Yeah. So the supply is actually paid instantly after
instantly.
Supply. Oh, okay.
Instantly, or almost instantly.
Okay.
So we were able to bring down the school fees. Now, in this 1,000 per term, learners eat in school from Monday to Saturday.
Okay.
And they also eat chapati every last Friday of the month. Every.
Wow.
And then, on the top of that program, there are some things we do also separately. CDF has bought 20 million worth of revision materials for day school learners in the same program. 20 million worth. But now, out of pocket, we also do a motivational program where every best performing and every best improved school, we take the principal to Dubai.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I was to come there, but let's first finish with the financing for learners.
Yes.
If parents only have to pay 1,000 bob,
then
how much is CDF paying per learner?
Per learner, I would maybe think about a bulk payment. Per year, we're talking about around 30 million shillings.
Okay.
Now, look at it this way.
We have about 15,000 learners, you said.
15,000 learners. 12,500 now.
Yes. Yeah.
After, now it's 3 classrooms. Now, you know, it's a very complex formula because I remember we slept in the office like 2 days continuously, just working up the formula.
Yes.
You know, the way I'm talking to you now, it seems very simplistic.
Yeah, because I want to do the calculations.
Yes. But the backward work.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So we do 30 million.
Yes. Roughly 30 million.
Roughly 30 million.
Yeah.
Divide by, let's say, let's use the numbers for
12,500, even 12,000.
Okay. That would mean about 2,500 per learner.
Precisely.
Okay.
Now,
this still falls short to what is standard, the 4,000 that we are speaking about nationwide.
It has to.
So how are schools?
Remember, the parent is paying 1,000.
Yes.
This 1,000, when they were 15,000, that's 3,000 a year.
Yes.
That's 45 million. That's 3,000 a year. That's 45 million a year. Our requirements for all our day secondary schools when we were tabulating, when everyone has paid their full fee, was actually 117 million.
Okay.
So, this is 45.
Yes.
Plus around 30. Then you add sugar. that we are given,
it
comes to around 14 million. It's a lot of money.
Yes.
Some of these things, when you do them practically, that's when it comes to reality, what the principles deal with.
Yes.
Because when you hear about sugar, you might not think that Kiharu day schools consume 14 million worth of sugar per year.
Wow.
Which we are given.
Yes.
And then, if you tabulate now all that, whatever we receive, whatever you see there is the difference, is the money saved out of quantity and out of time value for money.
Allow me to ask this. Yeah. If today the people of Kiharu decide they don't want Ndindi Nyoro as a MP, or if they promote you to a higher position, there's something called continuity or contingency. How do you ensure the standards you've set need to continue, right? Yeah. So one can come borrow the strategy you've used to in terms of 1,000. But in terms of the sugar being given, that is worth 14 million per year, that I'm sure is being given to you in terms of your personal relations with the donor.
Definitely.
So how, in terms of contingency, is it to mean that this is a plan that will not outlive Ndindi Nyoro?
Let me shock you with something else so that I answer that question properly. Out of the success of this program, I got, for example, the beginning of this year, several months, I got somebody to give us flour for free. I got somebody to give us some little, especially chapati. I was given by one of the millers. In our day secondary school accounts, you know, even what we are given, when it is accounted for, the money remains. I'll shock you again, Ibrahim. We have more than 50 million shillings lying in our bank accounts in all our day secondary schools.
Cumulative.
Cumulative.
Schools nationwide are complaining about funding by government and capitation.
Even as we are complaining. Remember,
but you have money lying in the accounts.
Money is lying. I think it's the cooperative bank or one of the branches in Muranga town. Over 50 million shillings. Because we decided, when we get somebody of goodwill helping us, we must save for a rainy day.
Yes.
So we have that much, and it can only be activated when circumstances like those are not there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is sustainable with CDF.
Yes.
I have had my colleagues come here and borrow the same ideas. I had MP for Mukoroine, MP for Kiaba. I have had several who are already implementing in their areas.
Yes.
And I suppose, hopefully, it is still working.
Okay. Yeah. Taking principles, so that we wind up with this and get into other issues. You take principles to, I've seen Dubai. I think, if I'm not wrong, I saw some going to Malaysia or went to Malaysia. Yes. Those who had gone to Dubai previously. Yes. How are you financing this? And on what account? Because this is government, and I know there's how government money should be spent.
Yes.
So how are you accounting for this money?
That I have to give, from the pocket.
Oh, okay.
Ibrahim, me as Ndindi Nyoro, if there is one single thing that I love and enjoy doing, it is doing anything that progresses education. In all ways. Infrastructure, having learners in school, but also deepening knowledge in terms of revision materials, laboratories, libraries, and the rest. And we decided that we want a robust competition, which is healthy. And because there is no other way to fund that kind of engagement, so I had to do it and promise the principles. This year we actually took, in our day secondary schools, we actually took 11. Because we took per ward, best improved and
top school.
Only one principal didn't go because of other reasons. So there were 11.
Yes.
There is one from Mukago Secondary who had gone to Dubai there the previous time. So he went to Malaysia. And I am glad because even me, my thinking really changed when I ventured out of the country back then. And every effort, especially the heads of our schools, can get that kind of an experience.
Yes.
To me, is very important. Let me also tell you something before we wind up. Our best improved teachers per subject, just the same way principals now per subject.
Now the teachers.
The teachers. Yeah. They go to Mombasa.
Oh.
They go via SGR, come back via on air, or the other way around. But they go to Mombasa for 1 week.
Wow.
Now, you see this kind of works we are doing here, Cabro and the rest. There is a time I had traveled to South Africa, and I was working at a place called Camps Bay in Cape Town. Then walking around there, I saw an institution around there. And upon going closer, I realized it is a municipal school.
Yeah.
So I took photos. When I came back home, I called my staff, or our staff, and we decided our benchmark must not be what is done in Kenya anymore.
Wow.
So we Googled some schools in the UK, even that Camps Bay, I showed them the photos. That's why you see this kind of thing. Even the gate, the reason why we put it in a way that you can see inside is because this is a community institution. It is as open as possible.
Sure.
And by the way, even this December and other previous times when people do weddings here, they do receptions in our schools.
Because it gives in terms of the ambience.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I'm very proud about that.
Let's move forward. Let me ask an important question that Kenyans are asking. You recently graduated with 2 masters at the same time.
Yes.
And it's a subject of discussion amongst Kenyans. How are you able to achieve, knowing the intensity of a master's degree?
Yes.
You did two in 2 different institutions at the same time.
Yes.
How? And at the same time, you had your parliamentary duties.
Yes. In fact, I was still chairman back then when I was actually doing coursework. This is what happened immediately we won this time. I read a lot, Ibrahim. I mean, like now I'm reading like 3 books. So I like having one, I categorize. A heavy book is a lot of macroeconomics because I enjoy either macroeconomics or political history.
Yes.
Anything related to economics. I also get one soft book. Like now I'm reading a book written by Femi Otendora.
Okay.
A billionaire from Nigeria. And then another one. So I because I've been reading a lot of books, around that time I decided, why can't I go back to school and get a certificate of what I think I already know? You get me? Because I thought, all these books I've read, every notable economic book had an opportunity to read them previously. So I decided, why can't I go back to school, probably to also get a certificate of what I thought I knew?
Yes.
So because I had done my undergrad in KU, I decided I'll do one at UON. So I went to check. UON by then were taking students, I think, they were not taking then, it was 2 months ahead. So I went to KU were taking by that time. So I registered KU. But I thought now, how would my CV be KU?
Yes.
So I also registered the one for UON. So one is Masters of Economics, Policy and Management in KU. The other one is MA in Economics. The coursework, most of it is not far apart. Because when you talk about microeconomic, both had micro, both had macro, both had QA.
Yes.
They are more or less this. They are not very far apart. The beauty that came along is that KU was physical classes. We used to attend city campus. And I attended almost all the classes.
Really?
Almost all. And I can say it looking at you directly. Because to me, by then, the experience was not purely about... After then now venturing into, the experience also changed to also wanting to relate. You know, some of us now as leaders, you can live a straitjacket life.
Yes.
You leave the office, home, parliament, you have no life.
Yes, sure.
I found a lot of life in attending classes in KU. UN was a blend of physical and online. Sure. Because they have, I think, a lot of international students, some of who are my classmates. So, by luck, the semesters are apart by like 1.5 months or 2.
Okay.
There is no single day any cut or any exam crashed.
Really?
Funny. There is no day I had to request, oh, push this one because it's clashing with this other one. But also, I am glad I did that because I confirmed the few things I knew, but I also learned many, many more, and especially when it came to doing my projects. I did 2 projects out of wanting to look for a solution. But wholesomely, it's only that I'm cutting because I know you may not have time to wear everything.
Yes, sure.
Even beyond getting a certificate, I have to say, I had attended several government meetings when I was chairman of budget, initially, up for the first few months, and I could realize we needed to know more than we knew, the people on the table. Even the people who would come from various institutions, I could feel there is a gap. So that was one of the motivations. But let me conclude the point I was giving. I did 2 projects. In UN, it was about primary production, manufacturing, and GDP growth. I did it, I had already almost finished my project by the time I was finishing coursework. Because it's something that I was really driven to find.
It's
like the way you can be told, look for some gold in that bush. Because I really wanted to find how our economy is structured. I was shocked by the findings I got from the data. That in the last 40 years, manufacturing has had an adverse relationship with the GDP growth. And I had to dig deeper. I realized in Kenya what we call manufacturing, in one way or the other, we are far from it.
It's not manufacturing.
You know what we call manufacturing? The biggest manufacturers in Kenya, and I'm not besmirching, I'm just trying to be real. When you call the CAM meeting, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the people on the front bench will be edible oils companies. Now, Karaja, the number 2 import in Kenya after fuel is edible oils. Then how is edible oils a manufacturing industry in Kenya? An industry importing over 150 billion worth of products. Is that an importing and trading company, or is it a manufacturing company?
It's importing and trading.
Some of the findings, but I'm just giving you a brief. In KU, I did around something called twin deficit. Deficit in the budget, which is called fiscal deficit, and deficit in balance of payment. I was trying to find the relationship between those two and exaggerate misalignment. When you have time, I'll tell you the findings. They are very interesting.
We will discuss about this.
And by the way, beyond taking the 2 masters, when I finished the coursework, and I had almost finished my projects, I was just chasing administratively. I also registered for a short course at the London School of Economics. Which I'll be finishing this actually 15th of January.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Sana.
Yes, asante sana.
Yes, a doctorate coming soon? Will you be enrolling?
Let me be honest.
Take a break first.
I have actually enrolled.
But
I'm weighing whether I'll continue or I'll first take a break. Yes. Immediately I finished UN, I enrolled for PhD. I've attended classes, but I'm still weighing. And especially given the other short course I'm finishing. I'm still weighing to see whether, and especially given the season we are headed.
It needs a lot of time.
This
is how I want us to structure the rest of the interview. Well, let's discuss some bit of politics, then the subject that you've been very passionate about, which is the economy. And let's start with politics. Kenyans would want to know, I'll take you a little back. More than a year ago, we saw the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua happen in Parliament. You were not there. You were not actually present in Parliament at that time. And many say that's where your problems began. Where were you during this discussion, or at least the debate to impeach Rigathi?
I was around. I don't need to go to details because you have all of them in terms of what was happening. The debate, I was not in agreement with it. And I told the people who are propagating it that out of no political consideration, but out of other considerations, I will not be taking part in
impeachment.
In the impeachment. You know, by that time we were still a team.
Yes.
So we were accountable to each other. And because I knew it was still our team who were pushing for the impeachment, and I had different views, so I communicated and made it clear that I will not be participating. And I actually gave a rejoinder that any consequences that would come up from that, I will not blame it on anyone.
Okay.
Because for me, it was more of a deeply personal reasons.
At the time, allow me to take you back, at the time when the impeachment happened, many said if the impeachment went through, the potential beneficiary amongst the people who are being mentioned was you.
Yes.
Because I remember by the beginning of the year, there was a big debate about generational change, and even a big clamor to have you as an, raised to national stature in preparation for the presidency in future.
Yes.
We even had your colleagues here, when they came here to benchmark, even start citing you as such. So many thought, once Rigathi goes, perhaps the reason why Ndindi has taken a back seat is he's expecting to be the one to be made deputy president. Was this discussion ever had?
You know, Ibrahim, the reason why I never find it plausible to keep on replying to anything politically is because time answers most of the questions.
Yes.
Like the question you just answered, you just asked, time answered it. Time answered it in terms of what was thought was not. But to put it into context, look at it this way, Ibrahim. I went to the campaigns. I'm not trying to change them, but I don't think there is any politician who attended more rallies for our camp in the previous campaign period than I did. During that time, and even previously, you know, campaign never started in 2022. It started way before.
Yes, sure.
We had a very close working relationship with the candidate then, who is the current president, the former deputy president, and the entire team, basically. Remember, I was arrested at some point because of this cause. I mean, there was no other reason.
I remember.
Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua was also arrested. And when the authorities were looking for him, and I'm saying it because he has put it the same way, I would never have said it.
Yes.
Except that he said it. He actually used to come to my home to hide there.
Yes.
He would leave his phones at his home. He would come at my place. We read Gazette there. And then I mean, that was how close we were.
Yes.
Now, after winning, you know, people are busy on their own things. Me, I'm busy here with the chairmanship. He's also busy with his docket. Everyone was busy.
Yes.
Because of the nature of my work then, as chairman of budget, you keep very close attachment with the members of parliament. And they are still my friends. So they could invite me to their areas. And I could go. I went to so many counties.
I remember seeing you in Marsabit.
Yes,
even
Marsabit.
You even donned their traditional regalia and spoke in Kiborana.
Yeah,
yes, I thought you were borrowing from the William Ruto school of politics. Because that's what he does. That's William Ruto's brand of politics. So I thought, indeed, you're preparing for that national level.
Let me tell you, put it clearly where the shock came. But let me first clear that issue.
Yes, sure.
So when the impeachment came, remember I was still going around. There was still some unease. It's good to be honest.
Yes.
There was some unease between me and the former deputy president, but it was not so much in the open. But there was some unease. So even by the time impeachment came, we were friends, but not as close as we used to be.
But you're trading barbs, seriously?
No. I mean, check any video.
Not you in person. Truly I can't attribute any statement to you. But in a rally where you are with your colleagues who are advancing the generational change and all that, they really traded barbs, and when you needed not to be a rocket scientist to know who the barbs are directed to.
Okay, let me speak for myself. So by that time then of the impeachment, when it came, we all had to make decisions. I decided, and my considerations were very simplistic. One, if I were in the same position, would the same be what I would expect from the people who were my friends a year ago? Then I thought, even if you are competing politically, I don't think it was to reach there. Secondly, my consideration number 2 was, am I the one who put the former deputy president there?
No.
No. So how is it my role to do the otherwise? So some of those considerations to me, and the clarity in terms of the heart that came with it, I knew I was making the right decision.
Yes.
And I told our team, I will not participate, and any consequence that may come, I don't want to blame anyone, because this is my own personal decision.
Yes.
And it happened.
In hindsight, and with all the consequences already seen, both on you, on the politics of the regime, is there anything you'd have done different?
No. Ibrahim, what I have, beyond being a politician, I also try and pray and also try to see what God would want me to do. So in some circumstances like those, my consideration goes beyond politics. So life is, we are a sum total of what we are, or the experiences we have been. Ibrahim Karaja is no Karaja.
Yes.
Without the ups and downs you have faced in your life.
Sure.
So Ndindi Nyoro now, I am at peace. To me, it's something without any price. I enjoy the work I'm doing in serving the people of Kenya in Parliament and here in Kiharu. And therefore, I don't blame anyone. Neither do I want to castigate anyone.
Okay.
Because if that was the genesis of where we are now, then it's okay.
Fair
because
enough.
It was my personal decision.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Do you speak to Rigathi Gachagua, for instance? How is the relationship right now?
There are some questions that you'll allow me to answer generally.
Okay.
In politics, I decided I will not have any enemy.
You haven't answered my question.
And any person may be my enemy. I will not be anyone's enemy, because I realized enmity, hatred, and those corrosive emotions, they burden you down.
Okay.
Now, Rigathi Gachagua is my friend.
To date?
He's my friend. How is he not my friend?
When's the last time you spoke?
We spoke recently.
How
I have
recent?
no enemy in this politics.
How recent is recent, Mheshimiwa?
Recent?
Recent could be a year ago.
No. Just you inatosha. Just know that I have no enemy.
When did
my phone is closed to no one.
Okay. You haven't blocked anyone?
Why should I?
When did you last speak to President William Ruto?
Let me tell you something about, because you've asked, and I think Kenyans also, they need to know because you are public officers.
Yes.
When I was chairman of budget, there is a time I could attend meetings. I am there with my bosses. We are doing things. Today's newspaper is writing about how I'm, I'm being chased away. And I'm in that meeting.
Yeah.
Then we could finish the meeting and just go. So, to reach where we reached, there was no conversation anywhere about, oh, we want you to pave way for this, we want to do this or this. The same way you are reading on newspapers is the same way I was reading on newspapers about myself.
Yes.
So, I think the last time we spoke could have been around the last times I served as the chairman of budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there bad blood? I mean, you're a lawmaker, he is a president, you are all serving the same people.
I have told you from where I sit, many people sit down to plan things. Politics, that's what I've seen. People sit down to plan things. You have to always engage your mind on why those things are being planned, especially against. When people sit down and plan things against you, and then you go berserk, and then you incorporate negative toxicity, the loser is you because you're playing into the game. I can tell you in my heart, I hate no one politically. I may disagree grossly, like I do with most of the things that are happening in government.
Sure.
But I've decided. We were younger during the last elections. We did what I would call silly politics.
You know why, sir?
Fighting people because of power, besmirching, name-calling. I am not a moralist, but I have decided I need to define my politics.
Yeah.
And my politics, I want to respect everyone. Can I soak you?
Yeah, please,
Ibrahim?
go ahead.
Because, you know, what I've seen with life also, we keep on amending our conclusions. That's part of learning.
Yes.
What you knew 10 years ago, you know differently. Some of the conclusions you had already made. Some you have amended based on the new information you've gotten. I disagree totally with many of the things we'll talk about the government is doing.
Which is where we are coming
headed.
we're headed in the next few.
And on the other side, I have told you there is a time we've had unease even with the former deputy president. Now, let me give you a scenario so that you understand. There's a time the president came to Mount Kenya.
Yes.
And he was hosted by media stations in Sagana State Road.
That was sometime this year.
I
think I covered that tour in the mountain.
You must have covered.
Yes, I did.
Then he's there talking, and then one journalist asked him, what is your relationship with Member of Parliament for Kiharu? Then, characteristically of him, it is the time I'm being hoarded around.
Yes.
And his guys are in Parliament saying how I am misusing, I don't know the position.
Yes, they said you actually, and we'll come to that. They said that the reason actually Kiharu is doing all this is because you've been taking up to 1 billion shillings to Kiharu.
So I'm there. Somehow I had decided not to watch that debate. I don't know why. But when I switched on a few minutes later, then I see some guy asking, what is the relationship with the Member of Parliament for Kiharu? Characteristic of him, because I had to say, he's a young man, I'm mentoring, then I'm here wondering. I'm here wondering, that statement, how is it related to the kind of things I am going through currently?
So he's mentoring you at the same time. His people are...
I mean, and of course I knew some of those decisions that were happening, no one had the gauge to do that.
It must have come from a higher
Definitely.
office.
I mean, it must have come from...
But he was mentoring you at the same time?
Now, that's what I watched. So I got very angry. And I decided I am going to call a press conference the following day to clarify. Because I thought, maybe, why are you trying to benefit from my misery? Because I was wondering, even naumia, wacha niumie.
Yes.
But then that's what was going on in my mind. So I decided I'm going to call a press conference the following Monday, I think Tuesday. But then I made some few phone calls. And kwa bahati, I called my bishop actually here in Muranga. It's good because some of the things I'm saying also, I know there are some young politicians who look up to us. So I'm just saying it plainly for even any one other person to learn. So I called them and I told them, have you heard? Because I knew many people are watching. Yeah, they told me yes. By good luck, my bishop here was also hosting some other bishops in his home. So I got a chance to talk to like 4 of them. And I told them, no, I want to call a press conference to clarify. They told me, no. We were also watching. And we can relate the 2 things and we can tell what to take.
Yes, sure.
So in other words, this is the point, Ibrahim. I have decided, and I hope that does not become a moving conclusion. I would hope to live with that or by that. Former deputy president his sons are my age set.
Yes, 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 yes.
The daughters of the president, I mean, in terms of age,
Yeah, almost.
they would be, I mean, I'm just trying for a polite word to say, but I would marry his daughter.
Yes, true.
I mean, because of age. So sometimes I decided I have to be different, Ibrahim, because I could wonder. There are some things I feel, as a politician, as a human being, I want to let out. I want to say this thing.
Yes.
But then I could wonder, if the son of the deputy president is watching, me doing anything to, or to kirushiana maneno na the father.
Yeah.
And if the children who are almost my age, or even the president are watching, what kind of a person would I be? And I decided there is a lot of things I'm going to swallow just for harmony.
Okay.
And for me to do the right thing, not just the convenient one.
I want us to wind up with politics so that we get into the substantive issues.
Yeah.
And I respect that if you usually say you don't want to get so deep into politics.
Yeah.
But Kenyans want to know, and this has been on social media, where does Ndindi Nyoro stand? Right now the country is divided almost right in the middle in terms of politics. So there's a group, speaking of one term, that, you know what, President William Ruto should go home in 27. There's a group that says 2-term. In fact, I've started hearing of long-term. So where do you stand? In fact, I should start this question with, because Kenyans even discussed you in a presidential manner. Yeah. Are you contesting for the presidency in 27?
Ibrahim, and I'm not trying to give you political answers. I'm telling you what I know and I believe in.
Yes.
I find it unfair for me to keep on talking about what I may become. I would rather engage about what Kenya can become. And let me tell you something. The line you see me taking nowadays, of taking the kind of issues I'm talking about, I'm not talking about those issues because of politics. I came to the realization that we may all be talking about the positions we want to occupy in the next few years, but will there be a country to even occupy that position, economically speaking? So when you hear me talk about securitization, debt, etc., it's because you can actually be given a seat, but realize it is actually an iron-clad seat where there is no flexibility.
We are getting into that.
We are getting there, but I'm answering your question. So, I am MP for Kiharu, which I'm very grateful for. I am grateful for the role I'm playing. Remember, in Kenya now, there's no opposition. And when you have a government that can ride on the ignorance of people not having information, they will become a monster. Not just a monster to the Kenyan people, even a self-feeding monster even to themselves.
Yes.
So I'm glad with the role I'm playing now. As we progress further, from where I sit, we are still too far to elections. And too far because I've also studied history. If you look at President Mwai Kibaki when he became president in 2002, 2003, he was not what I would say the most formidable presidential candidate 8 months prior to election.
True.
When the same president was running in 2007, even the party he formed, PNU, was less than a year before the elections. President Uhuru Kenyatta formed TNA less than a year to elections. The first by-election was actually here in Kagema. Jubilee that he came up with, consequently, was months to elections. This Uhuru Baro, we formed it when? It was a year before the elections. What am I trying to say, Ibrahim? Right somewhere, because we may have to refer. The parties you know currently.
Yes.
The formation as they are now, none will be in the ballot in the presidential race.
But what will surely be on the ballot?
They'll be all new.
But what will surely be on the ballot, should God give us life, and even the subjects you're speaking about, life, is that President William Ruto will be on the ballot seeking to extend his term and Kenyans may decide to send him home.
Yes.
In this course,
yes.
We are all alive, all healthy, and that is a situation. Where does Ndindi Nyoro stand?
There is an answer I am avoiding so that, you know, Ibrahim, I don't want to put this debate, Ikue, this personality against the other.
Yes.
My issue, my concentration is on issues. And as issues are now, I am totally against the policies the government is doing.
Yes.
I am totally against the kind of borrowing we are having. I'm totally against patronage in entrepreneurship. And I'm totally against the plans to increase school fees from January. So in terms of policies, you know, people may, because I get this every day, you are chairman of budget, etc., etc. Yes, but of the government having which policies by then?
Let me ease in this so that
yes.
we actually get into the substantive matter.
Yes.
What will be on the ballot in 27
yes.
Is the Singapore dream.
Yes.
It will be sold to us
yes.
in 27.
Yes.
The Singapore dream is being funded, one, by the National Infrastructure Fund,
yes.
by the Sovereign Wealth Fund,
yes.
By several other things that are happening right now, which you are saying you're against.
Yes.
So the Singapore dream will be on the ballot from how we've observed politics in Kenya. This is to say you'll be against that if the formula to the Singapore dream is what is being implemented right now.
Let me just clarify so that we don't go back and forth and so that we go to the main issues. I do not support the kind of things that are happening in government now. You get? And you've asked me, where do I stand? Which position? You've asked that previously. And I told you, it is still too early for me to tell you in terms of my position.
Yes.
But my position as of now, I do not support the policies the government is advancing. Where I'll be positioned in terms of against those policies, I hope there's clarity on that.
Yes.
I am against these policies. That is beyond any doubt. You get me? As to the kind of role I'll play in having an alternative policy, in having an alternative for the future of our country, I feel it is too early, and it is also non-tactical to discuss about it more than 18 months to the next election.
Sure.
Because a lot of is bound to change. The last 1 year, a lot has changed. The next 1 year, a lot will also change. But what I underline there is that fundamentally, logically, and objectively, I do not support the kind of borrowing we are doing. I do not support the kind of PPPs we are crafting and overburdening Kenyans for the future. I do not support the kind of economic policies we are advancing. And I actually, many times, I'm surprised because I see the same people who used to actually say the same things I'm saying. It's not me who has deviated.
So one of the things you're currently harshly speaking about is privatization.
Yes.
Privatization of Safaricom is happening right now. 15% of government ownership
Very good.
Has been proposed to be sold. The Kenya Kwanza Manifesto spoke about financing some of the ambitious projects, financing principles and framework. That is actually the clause in the manifesto that spoke about privatization.
Yes.
You went around the country to speak about this.
Yes.
Or to sell the candidature of Kenya
Very
Kwanza.
well. Very well.
What has changed?
Karaja, let me start here because you had asked me previously. You had asked me, why are you talking about these things now?
Yes.
Let me give you 2 or 3 answers. We were in a team. In Parliament, we have 3 committees that deals with the economy of Kenya directly. One of budget, finance, but also there is debt and privatization committee. So when you hear me talk about debt and the rest, it was actually not in the purview of budget in a straitjacket manner of it. Although they are self-feeding, that's why they are close by. They are self-feeding because deficit fits into the debt, etc., etc. That clarity is good. The second clarity is that if you go through all the reports we did as the budget committee then, we highlighted the vagaries of borrowing that we were doing.
Yes.
But thirdly also, let's be real, Karaja, so that we don't waste time. When you are a chairman of budget, chairman of finance, chairman of debt in parliament, to be honest, do you think the things you do are your own might?
No.
And I'm not trying to run away from responsibility. When an executive is elected, it forms all the departmental committees in parliament.
Yes.
It also forms the budget. So we would go in a closed door. We would actually talk about these things. And we would raise our opinions. But once there was a common, united front, then for the sake of the team, it was impolite for you now to show that you have different opinions. However, I am glad that even during that time that I was serving Kenyans in that capacity, there was no securitization that was done. And I remember one meeting we actually did with even some of the members of the National Treasury. All the senior ones were against it, all of them. And that is why even when you look on the documents on securitization, all the experienced officers of the National Treasury never signed anywhere because they know it is wrong. They were not inclined to it, and it remains wrong. I am glad there was no securitization during my time. There was no illegal borrowing like Talanta.
But you set the foundation for it, didn't you?
Zero. There was none. In fact, we attended many meetings from 2023. The common understanding was we cannot do securitization. It is wrong. So when I see my brother jumping from TV stations to the other, he needs to ask himself, how comes he's the only spokesperson of this thing? How comes the people he got in the National Treasury, none speaks for securitization? How comes it's only him?
Because it is the work of a cabinet secretary to speak about
No.
to speak about the ministry's policy direction.
No, I can tell you confidently, that's not the reason.
What is the reason?
It is wrong, and no one wants to be associated with anything wrong. So can I now go to privatization?
Yes, please. Because, please tackle this. One, privatization. Two, the manifesto which you supported spoke about an infrastructure bank.
Yes.
Which is now the National Infrastructure Fund.
Yes.
Actually, in the very same model that the manifesto spoke about. There was also the issue, which I want you to tackle. You've spoken about a lot of times, NSSF and the fact that its money is being used on Talanta.
You started with privatization.
Yes.
Ndindi Nyoro has never been against privatization. Look anywhere, any video, any document. I am actually a proponent of privatization. What I am against is for Kenya to go where Russia went. I think in the 2000s or thereabout. The creation of the Russian oligarchs is based on privatization. The basis of what I would call also oligarchs of a country like Zambia is also during privatization. It is no coincidence that the current president, Hakainde Hichilema, and the former president, Lugu, were all products of privatization. That's not a coincidence. One was a lawyer, the other one was a TA. Now, that's where we want Kenya to go.
Yes.
That we use a good thing to do a bad thing. And I say that many times. I know we'll talk about many things, but let me use this as an example. Take, for example, I've been saying, expand Nairobi Nakuru Road, but don't all Kenyans. That's where I stand. Because I have fundamental reasons.
Yes.
But because the other guy in government wants to politicize it, they'll say, oh, no, you're against the construction of the road.
Yeah.
That's political convenience. I don't want to engage in that. So privatization, the problem is one. And I'll give you the scenario of the one I've been very vocal on.
Yes.
Safaricom. The issue is not whether we are selling Safaricom or not, even when you attended the press conference in my office. The issue is about how much. We are selling Safaricom at 34 shillings.
True.
I said it is undervalued. The people in the National Treasury came and said, no, you know, the market is around 28, 30. We're actually getting a premium.
Yes.
I told them no, and I start by that even now. Why is my no?
I would want to know, because I checked Safaricom's shares as at yesterday.
Yes.
And it's 28.8.
Precisely. Now, why do you think they are 28 and there is already a buyer at 34? I'll give you the reason. Karanja, I've been in the capital market since my first year in campus. So the things I'm saying, I'm not saying them for political convenience. I know 100% that we are getting a raw deal in Safaricom. These are my points.
Okay. Explain to me like a layman. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an economist.
Yes.
And this applies to many Kenyans.
Yes.
Explain to us to understand why it is a raw deal.
Market price. That's what I heard from my good brother, the minister. That is the language of a buyer, not of a seller.
All right.
Let's start there. We are selling 15% GOK stake at around 204 billion shillings, discounting without talking about the dividends. So what is the basis? Market price. My friends, you are wrong. The market provides liquidity, but not necessarily valuation. There is something called a block sale when you are doing transactions in the stock market. And I'll give you the specifics.
Yes.
Currently, and I want you to get this very properly, Karanja.
Yes, that's why I came with my laptop.
There is a transaction currently in the market, in Kenya, not in any other country, happening in our own NSC.
Yes.
The anchor shareholder in EABL, they are selling their 65% stake to a Japanese company. It is actually a week ago.
Yes.
It is happening. The announcement was a week ago. It is currently happening. By the time they announced, EABL share was 252 shillings. Do you know how much they are buying it?
No, I don't.
They are buying it at an equivalent of 590 shillings per share. Are we clear on that?
Yes, we are.
Secondly,
that is close to double.
More than double. Not close.
More than double. True, indeed.
Secondly, I'll give you just a few. We had a transaction in Baburi Cement on Amson's. Okay, it's not a very good example to give because I know it's a patronage it's a patronage deal, but Amson bought into Baburi. If you look at the price of Baburi 1 year and a half ago, it was around 25. They bought it, I think, at around 65, a 175%. Let me give you the final one just because of time, but I could have given you more. In 2014, I was a practitioner. I was doing business, but I was buying shares, as I've done most of my time in terms of investments. So I had a company called Rea Vipingo, a few shares.
Yes.
Can't remember whether they were 10,000 or how many, but I suppose they were 10,000, just for your arithmetic. So in 2013 ending, an announcement came that a company called Rare Trading wanted to buy us out as small shareholders. The share was carried by that time at 27.5.
Yes.
They gave us a price of 40. I was so happy.
The first offer.
40. So if it is 10,000 shares, I had spent 75,000. There was a guy offering me 400,000.
Sure.
I was thrilled. I was still naive, as some of the guys I see naivety in this transaction. I was saying, bring the money, man. A few days later, Chris Kerobe and Centum petitioned to CMA. They said, no, we have a counter offer. Open this thing up. CMA wakakubali. The thing was opened.
Yes.
Centum gave a bid of 50 bob. To me, I was wondering, why is Kirubi buying time, man? Me, I want this even 40 bob. Because by then I was still naive in the market.
Yes.
Another company subsequently offered 55.
The value kept going high.
You know what happened? Rare Trading had to look for Kirubi. By that time, he had 1% stake in Rare Vipingo. they told Kirobe, man, why can't you withdraw this thing? We talked like
bid.
men. Kirobe negotiated for us. I am glad as a small time shareholder at that time. Do you know how much we ended up pocketing? I pocketed 85 shillings for my one share. So my 275,000 became 850,000 shillings in a span of a few months.
Yes.
Because of bidding. That's number one. I'm discounting the issue of market. There's nothing like market when you're doing a big time transaction.
A block sale.
Block sale. Second thing. How did you identify that the current seller is the one to, the current buyer is the one to buy? How? Who determined that these guys are the ones to buy our shares?
From what I heard, I mean, Vodacom is the largest shareholder. So they're already in the business. They know the potential of the business.
Very good.
So the easiest people to buy.
Precisely. No? By the way, Ibrahim, you're actually also talking like the buyer. I mean, I know the business. I am the buyer. So all that argument is to who? To whose head? The buyer's head. These are government assets. They are either under privatization law or as Public Assets and Disposal Act. You are disposing our assets.
So you take it to the markets.
At the very least, there has to be some competition. That's number two. 3, what Vodafone Kenya and Vodacom noticed is our desperation. When we are doing such a transaction, and politely, I could have given a call to my brother, Honorable the CS. When you are doing a transaction, you never show desperation. What did he do? By the beginning of this year, he was already on TV saying we are selling Safaricom. Now, this is what happened, Ibrahim. Vodafone noticed. They immobilized their shares. Check records. 16 billion shares of Safaricom were immobilized in July of this year. By who? By Vodafone. Why? They wanted to show government, we might also think to sell. Why? To negotiate a good price for themselves. So the government was cornered from day one. So they went to a deal where they are already talking the language of the buyer because they had already shown themselves bare in terms of desperation. Let me give you the other issues that you need to check. There is a way companies are valued. When you go to our market, for example, banks, there is a way banks are valued. Not just through the market. Valuation, as I keep insisting, valuation is not about market. And before I give you this point, let me also bring this to the point, Karanja. I hold a few shares in Kenya Power myself.
Yeah.
So Kenya Power currently is valued at 24 billion shillings. 24 billion. You can buy the entire Kenya Power.
Yeah.
15 months ago, the same company was valued at 4 billion shillings. 4 billion.
Okay.
You could buy the entire Kenya Power. So if I came as Ndindi Nyoro and said, no, I want to buy these shares of Kenya Power, government, and I'm actually giving you double. So I'm giving you 10B. Can they sell to me? Can you even fathom Kenya Power selling at 10 billion shillings?
No.
Kenya Power valuation currently is 24 billion. A company with assets of over 401 billion shillings. Can the government sell it at 24 billion?
No, they can't.
Why are we selling Safaricom with the market price in mind? Why? That's private, that's a government-rated company. I'll give you another one. Kenya Re, government has 60% stake in Kenya Re. Kenya Re valuation in the market is 16 billion shillings. You can buy the entire Kenya Re. They have no loan. Their cash and cash equivalent alone, cash and cash equivalent, that means money in the bank and money in treasury bills and bonds is 41 billion. I have not talked about the real estate assets they have. So there is a company in the market called Kenya Re selling for 16 billion.
Yes.
But the money you are going, once you buy it and you open like this classroom, the money you get inside is 41 billion. And then you get real estate and the business itself. Can the government sell it at 16 billion? Where you are buying a company, inside it, they already have cash of 41 billion. Then why, if we can't do that to Kenya Power, to KenGen, to Kenya Re, why are we conveniently saying market price when it comes to Safaricom? Let me finish. The valuation of any company is based on parameters. When you are valuing a bank, you look at core capital, shareholders funds, etc.
Yes.
When you are valuing a telco, there are parameters you look at. The simple one is called a P/E ratio.
Yes.
P/E ratio measures this. The net earnings of the company, if you use the net earnings, current net earnings, how long would it take you to recover your investment if you are taking all the net earnings? Let me go slowly. If you buy a flat, that flat is collecting 1 million per year.
Yes.
You buy it at 10 million shillings. How long would it take you to recover your money?
10 years.
That is now P/E ratio. You get? So P/E ratio measures the period where you can recover your money using net earnings. Look at some telcos. MTN has a P/E ratio of 40. Bharti Airtel has a P/E ratio of around 33.
Yes.
Orange has a P/E ratio of 39. Safaricom, at the current price and this year's earnings, has a P/E ratio of 16.1. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Safaricom has a bigger advantage from these two or three. Safaricom is more a fintech than a telco. So all I'm trying to say, Ibrahim, and I'm requesting those who are listening from government, sometimes conceding that you are wrong does not mean you are inferior.
Yes.
My take on this deal is for how can Kenya get the best return out of this sale?
So what is your proposal?
My proposal is simple, and I had given it when I was, this issue of selling Safaricom didn't start now. That's why, and I can tell you also.
Yeah, because it has actually been stated that you said it to the previous regime.
Yes.
Sell Safaricom.
Precisely.
So what is your proposal? How are we supposed to go around this?
This is how we are supposed to go about it. And let me first discount something. My brother, Buddy, I see him going around TV. I can humbly concede to you, I have more information about this transaction than the CS. He was not involved in this transaction. He was not involved in these negotiations. The people who were negotiating for government are actually not government officials. And the people who negotiated for government also do business with the buyers.
Okay.
So when you see me talk, I'm not talking kwa sababu sina kitu ya kusema, because I know Kenya is losing a lot of money here. This is what we could have done. And had given this proposal. The initial stage, list Safaricom in the London Stock Exchange. That's number one. Give it a global exposure in a market with free flow of capital. List it in LSE. Don't show much. When you show hurry, you already sending signals to buyers. Your composure as a person negotiating for a good deal must not be one for desperation. So list in the LSE. After that, do one thing. Give an opening of only 2 months for international companies to bid. I can assure you here, Ibrahim, the 2 or 4 billion you are getting, we will get more than 350 billion. I can assure you. And I'm not saying it because it's just a statement to fly around.
Numbers, yeah.
It is, I am based in the capital markets. So the things I'm saying, I am certain. Open this deal, and I can tell you for sure, we'll get a bid from Etisalat.
Yes.
Why?
From the,
Etisalat are already bidding to buy Vodacom. In fact, it's already geopolitics that is putting some roadblocks. Can I give you some context?
You think Etisalat from the UAE, if I'm not wrong,
Etisalat
is already bidding to buy Vodacom.
You know, when you're in the markets, what we call markets, you sniff. When I'm buying shares, you do some analysis, but also you sniff around. I can tell you, Etisalat are after Vodacom assets. So what is likely to happen in this deal? The current buyers are negotiating with us, but I am sure they will not go too far before they also sell the same assets to another person at multiples. So why are we selling to a person who will definitely also sell these assets at a higher price? Why can't we go to the market and fetch a higher price? That's number one. Secondly, the other thing, we are here as government handing over an advantage of giving a company a 55% stake. 55% means, you know, companies are ruled by winner take all, just like elections. In Kenya, when you do elections, if you do 50% plus one vote, you are sworn in.
Yes.
That's how our company laws are. Winner take all. So we are handing over to one company, 55%. Even for us to be clever as a government, that's not what you do. You counter-check. Go to the market, get the highest bid, but as you get the highest bid, it is more advantageous not to get the person who is already in. Because when it goes to voting, you'll be a priced asset with your 20%.
Yes.
You'll be coughing and the other shareholders look at who is coughing. Because you may side with this one or this with this other one in voting. Those are the kind of considerations we ought to have done, but we never did.
Yes.
I guarantee you again, if we open up this bid, it's actually illegal the way we are doing it. If anyone wants to go to court, there's no rocket science. These things should be uncompetitive. Let me give you some of the few things that even the people who are propagating it don't know, even in the National Treasury. There is something called condition precedent in any transaction. Condition precedent is, like I'm selling you this land, then as a part of the condition precedent, I tell you because there are some mangoes that are already grown, I'll be coming for 2 sacks every December to posterity. And we sign. That becomes a condition precedent.
Yes.
Let me tell you, in this transaction of Safaricom, Kenya is losing between 70 to 100 billion on condition precedent alone, based on licensing regime.
Okay.
I've given you, go do that homework.
I want us to move to the garden, but please tell me, because the argument for CS Mbadi as to why we cannot go to the market with Safaricom is because we're already in the market with KPC. I've heard him say that, and that we can't go to the same investors with two products. He said that on Fixing the Nation. What is your response to this argument?
It is ignorant, for lack of a better word. It is just naive. Kenya Pipeline is targeting local shareholders. Safaricom should not, in my opinion, you should not actually target, set it as a block. That's what I mean. Open bids to international bidders.
That's your proposal for enlisting it in the London Stock Exchange?
First list, even if you don't list in the JSE, you can still open an international bid. But I'm saying the better route would have been list in the LSE, open up the bid. And I can guarantee you, MTN will bid, Etisalat will bid. We can have many global investment companies, KKR, Blackstone, BlackRock, bidding. A bidding war only helps the seller. When you go into a closed room and you're trying to sell our most prized asset by picking a seller who is already having information asymmetry. Remember, the seller we are selling to is already inside
the business, true.
So there is information asymmetry already. They already know more than the other person making a decision knows. Then as I've told you, this already negotiated condition precedent that is making Kenya lose close to 100 billion in the licensing regime alone. So I'm wondering, man, why are we hurrying at a transaction where we can easily make an extra 150 billion and build more roads? The roads that will be built will give the same government some mileage. How is that even political? How is that political, man?
Mhesh, you've spoken about Safaricom.
Yes.
Tumefika kwa shamba.
Yes. Hapa tumekuleta ukule maembe kidogo.
This is where you unwind? Ama namna gani?
Where?
Is this where you unwind?
Yeah, once in a while. I really get the chance.
Okay.
But especially musimu ya maembe.
Yes.
I make sure I come.
All right.
Yeah, most of the Decembers especially.
Maembe yakiiva unayo wewe nayo.
Yes. Can actually pass through here.
Okay. We've spoken about Safaricom.
Yes.
And from what you're explaining, Kenya is getting a road deal.
Yes.
Kenya is a country where a lot of things are done, with a lot of secrecy.
Yes.
Could it be that there are interested parties beyond the buyers that are making this deal, or the shares being to be sold in the amount that they're being sold at?
The only reason why we can't float these shares to the public, public meaning an international bid,
yes,
is only when and if there is vested interest.
Okay.
So definitely, if you can't let the country get more money, it means somebody else is getting it on behalf. Because my reasoning is simple, Karanja. If the government gets more money, which they'll definitely get if they competitively look for a buyer.
Yes.
It is the same government that will get all the money. So, in terms of money, the more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Yes.
So we are now at proposal initiation.
Yes.
Of course, we'll be called upon as a country, even where you sit in Parliament, to weigh in on this particular matter. Perhaps when you go back from recess.
Yes.
What do we expect? You're one. You cannot influence a lot of change, but also in terms of enlightening your colleagues in this particular manner.
Yeah.
Do we expect a pushback from you?
I will do my bit, definitely. That is assured. I'll do a memorandum.
Yes.
Detailing all the information that I have. And for sure, it will not take any. It does not take political allegiance to blind you.
Yes.
Because it is clear. The examples I gave you about Rea Vipingo, the current EABL sale, clearly tells you the market is, you only use the market as the basis of valuation.
Yes.
When you want to get a good deal, not as a seller, but as a buyer. We are sellers. Why are we speaking the language of the buyer, and in it we end up losing? And I told you about PE ratio.
Yes.
MTN has a PE ratio of like 40. A company like Orange has 39 in terms of PE ratio. Bharti Airtel at 33. Safaricom by end of this year, the PE ratio will be 16.1. And it is both a telco and more importantly a fintech.
Yes.
And a fintech is more progressive in terms of PE. But our buyers, because they are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, their PE ratio is actually negative because they made losses.
Okay.
The best PE ratio they got was actually in 2022, which was 40. So you want to buy Safaricom at a PE ratio of 16, when all its peers is more than double that. And you tell us about market price. It's just, I think what the buyers did, they got no scripts on the other side of the table negotiating for government. So because I read actually when they were doing their reporting on the other side, one of the journalists actually told them, congratulations, you've done very well. A business journalist.
Yes.
Because they could see these guys have overrun us. Yeah.
All right. Let's move this conversation forward. You briefly mentioned about the road, the Rironi Summit, which is one of the things that this government is speaking about very passionately.
Yes.
The president says it will be done by June of 2027.
Yes.
There's tolling to that particular road.
Yes.
You've said that, yes, whereas the road is good, there should be no tolling.
Yes.
This is a question I've asked you before.
Yes.
And I'll ask you in this interview.
Yes.
There is a need for that road.
Yes.
There also are facts about our revenue, the revenue we are raising and where our budget goes to. You are the chair budget. You know how much goes into recurrent expenditure. You know how much goes into debt. So really, we don't have money for development.
Okay.
And there is a need for the road.
Yes.
How different would you have done it? Or how different would you propose that it be done?
The Rironi Summit Road should be dual, not today, but yesterday. It ought to have been dualed a long time ago.
Okay.
There are fundamental reasons why I am against tolling. One is that Kenya exists in a global economy and a regional economy. Our regional economies, there is none that is doing the kind of tolling we are doing, and especially on corridor roads. That's number one. So when you increase the cost of transportation in Kenya, you are basically increasing the ease of doing business. We are telling investors, we have our neighbors over here, look at them, man. We are not competitive. We can't do that. So secondly, on where we can get the money. Karanja, I have done some simulations. There are some times, by the way, I want to confide to you, I wake up late at night just to think about this country.
Okay.
And especially on the economic side. And there are some ideas out of thinking and looking at other scenarios of other countries. Take, for example, Kenya. We are busy securitizing and doing all these other things. How I would propose we do it is this. In the budget, we usually put around 60 billion in what is called development budget, GOK, money from government.
Yes.
In the budget, there is also around 80, mostly 80 thereabout billion, what we call development partners. That is financing from international lenders mostly.
Yes. Yes.
Partners. So it accounts for around 80 billion shillings. And then there is recurrent, the money you hear called fuel levy.
Yes.
We can call it around 80 billion. That's around over 230 billion shillings. This is what I would do, and I've given this forth before. I would come and tell the Kenyan people, we are here collecting housing levy. Let's remodel it. Because we can have another chapter to talk about this housing project, and I'll show you it's better done by the private sector, not by government. But if we start that now, I think it will crowd out time. So that is around 70, let's say 75 billion shillings. That 75 billion Kenya shillings is a lot of money. I would come as the government and logically, pragmatically reason with Kenyans that this year is the last year we are doing these houses for now, except social housing. Social housing only in areas of our brothers and sisters who are living in informal areas.
Yes.
We only do social. All the others we are calling affordable. ETC, we do roads. Because if you ask a normal Kenyan, you'd rather you do a road for them where they'll sleep, they'll sort themselves up. And remember, these houses are not also for free. They are being sold. So I would look at that. And also, I would ban moram roads in Kenya for the next several years.
Okay.
I can tell you as a member of parliament, because I've been doing concrete roads, especially in steep areas.
Yes.
We must rethink our moram roads. We are wasting public resources. This money we call maintenance, 80-something billion of fuel levy. I would only leave, let's say, 30 billion for maintenance of highways and other roads. So I'll have a kit newly created. 50 billion from fuel levy and around 75 billion shillings from housing. That's around 120 billion. And because I'm talking holistically about roads, not just this one, I would start with one, Karanja. If you go around the country, you realize that all the roads that were an experiment done by the current president and the former president Uhuru Kenyatta in the last regime, the roads that were being called low volume seal, they are all full of potholes.
Yes, they are.
So I would allocate some money gradually for resealing of these roads on AC. Before some of them were out so fast, I would apply AC on them. Then the rest that remains can do the roads agenda without necessarily borrowing, without necessarily tolling, and without opaque PPPs. Remember, Kenya has always built roads.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we talk like we have just invented building of roads. President Kibaki built a lot of roads.
That is true.
Thika Road. You can leave Nairobi, go to Isiolo, Marsabit, Moyale. You can go to basically any part of major towns in Kenya. They are tarmac roads. So we are not inventing building of tarmac roads now. Then why can't we do it with the prudence that was done by the previous governments?
For instance, like I said, I'm not an economist and I'm not an accountant. So I may miss some of the explanation. But when I sat with someone from the Kenya Roads Board, they told me the reason why, and now we are getting into, for instance, the RMLF.
Yes, securitization.
Securitization. We had so many stalled roads, and you're out witness to this.
Yes.
So many stalled roads.
Yes.
Contractors had left site. The reason being,
yes,
they had not been paid. They've started work.
yes,
So they leave, and even after leaving site, you still find some of them, their bills accumulating.
yes,
And they are needed. We need to have these roads completed.
yes.
In fact, some of the major roads that have been cited by this government are currently being done by RMLF. You have criticized RMLF. This is not money that is coming from our budget,
yes,
so to speak.
yes.
This money, and true to it, we are seeing contractors back on site.
Yes.
And they're saying we are doing this road because finally the RMLF has been used and we're able to continue with our job. If, from a layman's perspective, I'm seeing roads, I'm seeing the contractor back on site, tell me as an economist why this is not a reason to celebrate.
Karanja, securitization is collecting future money today. We are collecting future fuel levy today. I am keeping on repeating. We are not inventing building of roads. We've always built roads. We never had to pick future revenue to get political capital today. The bigger question would be, the money that has been building roads for all those years, where is it? Where is that money? Where is it going? So that
we've committed all of it to debt.
That's not true.
That's what I would think.
What I'm against is we are here now, Karanja. You are the man of the house. Your salary for the next 15 years, you ask it from your employer today. And you are given. And you spend it today. And you are spending it on projects that will not necessarily be investment options, so that they will generate more revenue. Where does that leave your family? Where does that leave your employer who will expect you to work every day? That's basically what we are doing. We are mortgaging every other avenue we have in Kenya. Let me give you another perspective. We went to the market because it's some form of securitization also. We picked a board, or we sold, or we did a board as Kenya of 44.5 billion shillings and mortgaged our sports fund.
Yes.
Now, a loan of 44.5 billion shillings will be paying an interest of 100 billion shillings. 100 billion shillings in 15
double
years.
The principal amount.
Double the principal amount. Who in their right mind would do that? And especially when you are dealing with a multi-year project. You see, like the railway we are doing in Kenya, did we have to securitize? A railway all the time is multi-year. We have railway development fund, levy fund, sorry. Why can't we sign a multi-year project at present value, other than pulling our money that we are going to collect for the next 10 years, we pull it today? A project is not a product you are buying from a supermarket. You'll be paying for per certificates.
Yes.
The stadiums are utilities that you don't buy and plant it. You build it over time. It's multi-year. Why do you need that money today and it is coming at a cost? Why? Then, when you are mortgaging future revenue of the country, which signal are you sending? That there will be no country? That in your mind and in your reasoning and your planning, there is no Kenya in the next 5 years, or 3, or 5, or 10. Because if Kenya is a going concern, all the revenues you are mortgaging will be needed even that time.
You've spoken about the sports fund. We've previously spoken about other things, for instance, the construction of Talanta. And this is a specific question which I was told I must ask you.
Yes.
So, NSSF is money that I and you and every other person pays for pension.
Yes.
This money will not be given as Karanja up until the time I retire.
Very well.
Okay?
Very well.
So, it would appear your idea for NSSF, because what we are doing with that particular fund is invest it into Talanta. Let this money work for us.
Yes.
Then eventually, and this is what you do when you invest some money, is because you want that money to work for you.
Work for you, definitely.
Why is it wrong when it's being done by government?
Karaja.
Especially a government you supported.
You've put it very well. That you're a worker.
Yes.
Your money is in NSSF.
Yes.
Because you expect your money when you do what?
I retire.
What if you don't get it?
That's an assumption.
That's an assumption. Even the other one is an
assumption. I hope I will get it.
Yes. Even me, I'm telling you that if you burn the money, you are NSSF Board of Trustees, and you burn the money, like that maca that is burning there, where will I get money to pay you? Some of the projects is burning the money.
How is, for instance, Talanta burning the money?
Take, for example, the road. The reason I don't want to talk about Talanta is because they have done some other engineering of listing the board.
Yes.
So you can exit from the market, though private sector are not taking. Let me come to the road. Why are we charging the people of the western part of Kenya to use the roads? These are people who pay, they pay VAT, they pay fuel levy. So what explanation are you giving these people that then they have to build their own roads?
These are roads I'll be using to go home.
Yes. You see, for example, Karanja, and let's not be blinded as Kenyans. I beseech all of us. I'm MP for Kiharu. We have CDF. So I call the parents of Gekuo Secondary School here. I tell them, you know, we have CDF, but please bear with me because we need a classroom. I've come with a contractor here. He'll build you a classroom.
Yeah.
But the people will be paying 20 shillings to use every day. That money will be paying this contractor the money he has used to build the classroom. Then, when you ask me, when I'm there back there, ask, hey, Mheshimiwa, and where is our CDF? Do you know what I respond to parents? Huyo mzazi hataki tujengewe darasa. That is basically what we are saying. We are saying this. This parent pays taxes. That's why I have CDF. That CDF should build the classroom. This person from Nakuru all the way the western part of Kenya, they pay VAT, they pay PAYE, they pay fuel levy. What more do we want them to pay to get a public utility and a public good like a road?
But Mahesh, is this not a problem of your making as a member of parliament, one, and even as having served as chair budget? Because the reason as to why we don't have enough money for development, and that is why we cannot, or at least the government says they can't, the road that we have to toll our roads, is one, our debt.
Okay.
And you wanted to speak about debt.
Very good.
We allowed, you were in parliament, when the debt ceiling went beyond what was envisioned.
Yeah.
You more or less actually were in the Jubilee government at that particular time. Yes. It is due to problems of that time, the problems that we made and you actually made in parliament by approving budgets that were beyond our means, exorbitant, that we are here today. How do we remedy it? You are President William Ruto today. You're running government with the resources that we have. You are more informed than me in terms of the revenue that we raise, in terms of what our national cake is. How would you do different? That's the question.
Karanja, let me first ask you. The debt went up by what? The debt in Kenya, the cap is 55%. Are we together?
Yes, sure.
With a band of 5% either way, up or down. So
we made it a percentage of the GDP at some point.
55%, with a band of 5%, meaning you can stretch up to 60.
Yes.
The downward doesn't actually apply. Now, the laws of Kenya permits the executive to buy up to 55% of the GDP plus a band of 5. That's 60%.
Yeah.
We are over 70. So whose problem is that? Let me give you the other perspective.
Yeah.
Because you brought up the issue of debt, and I'm answering together with this other fund you had asked. Kenya, let me give you a scenario. I'll talk slowly, you get.
Yeah.
President Kibaki got this economy when our debt was 600 billion shillings. By the time he left, it was 1.7 trillion. 1.7, 1.8. He borrowed 1.2 trillion in the entire 10 years. President Uhuru Kenyatta and, of course, the current president, when they were running government last regime, they took the debt from 1.7, 1.8 trillion to 8.7 trillion by 2022, August. The current government has taken that debt from 8.7 trillion, is now almost 12.5 trillion shillings. So we borrowed around close to 4 trillion shillings in
3 years.
3 years. We are borrowing roughly 1.25 trillion shillings every year. 4 billion shillings every day. Remember the debt I'm talking about, I've not included refinancing. The debt we borrow to pay the other one, that I've not included. Like the money we borrow to pay another Eurobond, that is zero net. We call it net zero. Because, I mean, it's 0 net. I've not mentioned, that's not included. This is net debt, 4 trillion shillings. On this other side, you tell us we want to create a 5 trillion fund. My take is this, my brother. Before we even go to the 5 trillion fund, and I'm not, sisi wote tuulize na majibu itokee. Since we have borrowed 4 trillion shillings, where is it? We start there.
Okay.
If we have answers to that question, then we can talk about these other things. The 4 trillion is the money that ought to have built roads, electricity, and the rest. Because in Kenya, remember, PFM Act, you can only borrow for what? For development.
That's true.
So where is that money? 4 trillion.
Good question.
4 trillion. Before we talk about 5, the 4 that has already come, where is it?
And it ought to have gone to development.
Yes.
And the development that you can see.
Yes. If we have borrowed 4, why are we touring the road to Nakuru? It needs us a small money out of the 4 trillion.
True.
So where you can't account for the 4 trillion borrowed, you bring PPP and you bring another fund of another borrowing called something fund there.
Sovereign fund, and
especially infrastructure fund.
National infrastructure fund.
Yeah.
Now,
and do you know what it is?
What is it?
Infrastructure fund is about borrowing.
But they are saying, for instance, when they sell Safaricom and get the 204 billion.
Very good.
This is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
What the CS has explained is from the sale of Safaricom, you'll get to the 15% shares, you'll get 204 billion. It will get into the National Infrastructure Fund.
Very good.
So it will be used for commercially viable infrastructure. In fact, those are the words they're using.
Karanja, let me tell you, in the entire of that act, the draft, you only need to underline 2 words. One word is called leveraging. The other one is called crowding in. Those are synonyms of borrowing. Leveraging is a synonym of borrowing. What they want is this. You bring in revenue. You see the way you go to SACCO at NMG, in your SACCO they tell you, in your deposit we give you times 3.
Yes.
That's basically that kind of arithmetic. They want to raise this money, then borrow 10 times more. You crowd in 10 using 1.
Which will add to the public debt.
It is, now that's the trick. We have already exorbitantly borrowed on the normal book. So we want to borrow on a separate book. We are calling infrastructure fund. So that fund is actually a borrowing fund.
Oh.
Let me tell you something, Karanja. With all the hula baloo that there is, and I'm talking about our country because I would want us to change and do better. And I don't want us to do, my take is always, Karanja, if we have every president doing better than he got, that's how Kenya ascends. President Kibaki grew the economy in 3 years by 36%. 36%. In the first 3 years of Kenyatta, Uhuru, he grew the economy by 21%. In our first 3 years now, the economy has grown by 14.9%. So, what I'm saying is, let's call ourselves to wonder there is something we can do to make our country better, because the figures are not on our side.
We need to move this conversation forward. Time is not on our side as well.
Yes.
The economy, which you've gotten into. This government uses what they call macroeconomic indicators to say we are doing well. In fact, they are breaking it down so into granular details to tell us the price of unga when we took over was this much.
Yes.
The price of unga now is this much. The price of the cost of $1 was 160. Right now it's 129, 128 shillings.
Yes.
And that is being used as citing economic success.
Karanja.
Yes.
During the day of election, election day in August, Our Kenya shillings, there are some mangoes, but I want us to pick one direct from the tree if there is. During the election day in Kenya, the Kenya shilling was trading at 119.3 shillings to the USD.
8th August 2022.
During the day of election, 119.3, that was the exchange rate. During the day of swearing in, the shilling was 120.5 shillings to the dollar. Now, the shilling went up to over 160 early 2024, 16 months when we were already in.
Yes.
And I'm not exempting myself. I mean, I'm talking about our country because we need to face the reality. So, the shilling lost, not in the last time, but when the current government, we were firmly in place because I was also there. So that, that issue of saying we brought the shilling from 160, let's own it, is a fallacy. It's not correct.
It's actually you who took it to 160.
That's the truth, as the government. Look also here, because I know you watch international news.
Yes, I do.
The shilling, the dollar, acts as the global currency. It is the bulwark. It is the dominant currency. The dollar also exists in the perspective of relativity with the other currency.
Yes.
So the dollar, listen here, has lost 10% in the year of 2025 because of the fiscal policy that is destabilizing the dollar in America. Both in terms of tariffs, but also number two, the market sensing, like the executive in the US, are also meddling with the Fed. So the dollar has lost. If you want to know the real exchange rate, don't look at the dollar alone. The dollar, number one, has lost 8% since this government came to be. The pound. Let me start with the euro. When we were doing elections, actually in October, the euro was 116 to the Kenya shillings. It is now 151.
Yeah.
The pound was 132. It's now 174. We have lost against the Rwandese franc. We have lost before the elections in Tanzania against the Tanzanian shilling. So use that information the way you can. And where you see you can use it.
So our economy is not doing well.
I mean, exchange
as
rate, as I've told you, is the way it is. Economically speaking, Kenya in the last 20 years has grown at an average of 5.2%, the GDP of Kenya.
Yes.
And it is inclusive of the corona year, which the country GDP shrank by 0.3%. And I've also included the 2007-08 violence. The economy grew by 0.2%. So the average, even inclusive of those, is 5.2%. This year, last year we grew by 4.7%.
The GDP?
The GDP of Kenya. So you are below average. You are below.
Is that so? Not 5.3?
No. It's 4.7% last year. Then we also let's also investigate this. We are saying Kenya is number 6 largest economy in Africa.
Yeah.
Projected to be by end of this year at 131 billion US dollars.
Yes.
The size of the economy. But Kenya was still number 6 in 2021. Kenya became number 7 in 2024 last year because of one reason. The economy we are using is dollar denominated.
Yeah.
The shilling shrank or collapsed last year. Sio kitambo, it's this 2024.
Yes.
After that, the economy in dollar terms actually shrank from 114 billion US dollars the previous year to 109 last year.
Yes.
Are you getting?
And we moved to number 6, back to number 6.
Actually, I mean 2023 is the time we shrank. 2024, sorry. So we are now bouncing back from that. Are you getting?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is this, Karanja. When we talk about the economy of Kenya, it is important that let's not beat the drum harder than the actuals. Because the people who we are communicating about the economy to are the ones feeling it.
Yes, sure.
So you'll come and tell them, oh, we are doing very well. They'll ask you where. Because even the figures are not on your side. So the figures are not on your side. You want to force them for people to accept.
That you're doing well.
But that's not to say we don't want our country to do good. We want our country to do exemplary well. But the basis of doing well is to accept the reality so that you move forward.
So the road to Singapore, President Ruto is very ambitious about it. He's spoken about 4 sectors: energy, infrastructure, agriculture. I can't remember the 4th, but there are 4 sectors that he says we must really invest in to get to Singapore.
Yeah.
Do you believe in this?
Ibrahim, take some mango.
Oh yeah.
At least usitoke bure na hiyo swali ya kwenda pahali.
I found a ripe one.
Yeah, even
that's
mine.
good. Yeah.
Enjoy what you can now, not the one, not where you are you are headed. Now, it's good for any country to be ambitious. And all countries grow on blueprints. But we have to distinguish between blueprints and political messaging. Remember, I was in Dynasty and the rest, Hustler Dynasty,
Bottom up.
just a few years ago.
And right now you're laughing.
I'm laughing because when you sit at the tables where these political narratives are crafted, I beseech my generation of politicians to do things differently. Because sometimes I think we take the countries too casually. And I can imagine maybe some guys who are seated somewhere, somebody compared Kenya to Singapore or another country, and I could already foresee how a table was banged. Sweden na hiyo ndio sasa. You know, Ibrahim,
is this how things are done?
Kibaki never took us to any country. Kibaki took us to a better Kenya. For all of us to be patriotic enough, we must make Kenya a better country than all the comparisons we are making. So I would rather we have a road to a better Kenya, not a road to any other country. That road to another country, you need a visa. But to remain in Kenya, you just need an ID, which you all have.
But basically, he's selling the idea that we can achieve what these Asian tigers have achieved in a very short period, because they were our equals at some point.
So yummy, man.
Actually, they were our equals at some point. Right now, they are so advanced. So the president is actually telling us that it's doable.
If we mean it, the country to actually talk about when you look at Kenya is South Korea, not Singapore. But I can already foresee, because I have seen these political maneuvers, how they work. Maybe somebody floated South Korea and they are told, yeah, people may not distinguish between
North and South.
Seoul and Pyongyang. So let's go with the most identifiable one. Why? If there is any country to actually benchmark with is Kenya, before even Singapore with South Korea. Why? The first thing you need to look at the economy, or when you are comparing a country, is the.
I'm enjoying my mango, please.
It is the composition. This one I may have to take it later, so that we. Let me go back to the issue of South Korea. South Korea has a GDP per capita, let's say 12 times Kenyan. Singapore is around 30. But the issue is not even that. The issue is how countries are like each other.
Yeah.
You see, for example, the way you can compare a hen and a goat. Both gives you meat.
Yeah.
Actually, none is more superior, but they are just different. So the composition of our economy is more like South Korea, actually more than Singapore. Why? If you go to Singapore, most of the big companies through Temasek are actually government owned. Stakes are government owned. DBS Bank is listed in Singaporean market. And other companies you'll get, if you actually tabulate the top 20 listed biggest companies in SGX, that is Singapore, they have a lot of government involvement in them. Kenya is the other way around. Kenya is a private sector driven economy, or that's what we would want. That's why the model of South Korea actually is better, or is more fitting into Kenya. Because what South Korea did, South Korea, there are some economists who actually say South Korean economy is an economy that grew on the basis of corruption. Only when you define corruption, or the qualifying definition of corruption, is when you allocate public resources to private companies. Because South Korea literally held the hearts of private companies for them to dominate. They raised their economy with having companies that are called chaebols.
Yes.
Chaebols are companies that were assisted literally by government to dominate the export-led economy that was being created then, so that they also create an atmosphere and an environment where the SMEs become their suppliers and distributors. Yes. So the economy was anchored on the private sector. And Kenya, that's how it is.
Yes.
So if we are actually very truthful to ourselves, that's point number one. Secondly, the population of South Korea is very close to the population of Kenya. We are both in 50 million each. The culture, most of the things are rhyming more with
South Korea
than actually Singapore, in many respects. But let me go to the next level. For us to make steps forward as an economy, because I don't want to compare Kenya with any other country, precisely because I know there is political messaging in it and I don't want to be part of it, but also because there is no better country than Kenya.
Sure.
So I can't say I'm going to any other country. We are going to Kenya.
Very briefly, as we conclude.
Secondly, beyond looking at how the economy is programmed, and especially based on private and public, the second thing is come to the dynamism of the economy. The dynamism of the economy starts with labor-intensive industries. We would want to do that as Kenya. That is what we should be doing now. Because unemployment is not just an economic issue. It's also a social issue.
It is.
Even if you grow the economy but so many are unemployed, you have a social problem to deal with. That is what both countries did, but more so actually South Korea. Started with labor-intensive industries, then you transition dynamically to skill-based or skill-intensive industry, then you go to capital-intensive industry, and then the highest pinnacle is technology-intensive or knowledge-intensive. If you look at mature economies, including South Asian tigers and the Western countries, they are now at that level.
Yes.
When you hear about AI and the rest, we are all talking about technology and the other, and knowledge intensive. The other thing which is very critical, Karanja, US, UK, China, Asian tigers, all those countries grew using other people's money. FDI is a very important critical element in the growth of an economy. If you look at the biggest companies in China, for example, talk about Alibaba.
Yes.
Who are the biggest investors in Alibaba before? SoftBank, that's a company owned by Japanese, but in America. Talk about Tencent, talk about BYD. BYD, even as recently, the investors were among Berkshire Hathaway, an American company. If you look at Singaporean companies, the biggest, you realize that there is a lot of capital inflow
through
FDI from other areas, investments. For Kenya to thrive, Ibrahim, the reason you see me talking about shares is not just precisely about people making profit, but it's also anchoring Kenya as part of the global capital flow. Because when you open a floodgate of capital flow, what does that mean? That I am here with mangoes, I may use somebody else's money who will come and set up a factory here,
I agree.
Employ people here, take my mangoes and add value to them,
yes.
So I get more money. FDI is very critical. Unfortunately, our economy will seem constantly to confuse remittances and FDI. The money our brothers and sisters said when they go to the US and the UK and the Gulf and the other areas, that's not FDI. That is inflows based on consumption.
Yes.
You said your mother to buy unga and sikuku. You said your mother to repair your home. That is consumerism-based remittance. What Kenya needs is to open a floodgate of FDI. But that can only thrive, and this is the point number 4, on something called, an appeal called governance and stability.
Takes us back to what we've been discussing all through.
Yes. In Singapore, in the 70-something or 80-something, there is a gentleman who was the housing minister of Lee Kuan Yew. And that guy was given a bribe. And the equivalent of EACC started looking for him. And because he was minister of Lee Kuan Yew, and therefore they were friends, he reached out to him. Lee Kuan Yew told him, my friend, first finish up with the case you have. I'm still around. The guy committed suicide.
Wow.
There is no way you will grow a country with first level or first degree of patronage, clientelism, and crony capitalism. And I fear for our country, honestly. Why can't we as politicians, yes, we may do business. I agree. Even me, I do. But can't we leave room for real entrepreneurs also to do business?
Let's pause it there with that question. I want us to wind up. What is your projection for 2026?
Several things will, before that projection, the last point, number 5, is human capital growth. Some of the things we need to do in that, in making Kenya a better place.
A first world.
Yes. And the basis of human capital growth is basic education. So we are here talking about trillions, but you are also here in January preparing to start increasing school fees for day scholars. The basic level of human capital growth, those things, that's an oxymoron. Now, to come to the projections of 2026, several things I see will shape how Kenya in the global economy will be. But I talk about Kenya.
Okay.
But having the global economy in mind.
In mind, sure.
One is food, rain, drought. I am hoping that we get enough food in this country, because I have seen in the previous cycles, readers become very tensed when there are those kind of hiccups towards the election. And you can end up committing a lot of fiscals for the country. Second, education. Education will shape the debate of Kenya starting this January.
Yes.
And especially if this diabolical issue of wanting to increase school fees will go through. That will definitely shape how 2026 will be. Third is debt. We will not run away from this issue, Ibrahim. We will not run away from the fact that we have borrowed 4 trillion shillings in 3 years, and the speed is accelerating. We are not going to run away from that. We are also not going to run away from the fact that we are also borrowing off the book through securitization. These things, as now is December, as true as now is December, these things will come to make our path slippery.
Thank you.
That one you can take to the bank. And the last one is fuel prices. In the year 2022, a barrel of oil was around $90 to $100 per barrel.
Sure.
Now we are enjoying a summer of around $57 per barrel. My friend, if we just go back to what we had in 2022 globally, that's when this issue of securitization will start making sense to every person and every Kenyan. Because remember, where we can intervene as government, we've already reduced that gap by borrowing using that revenue.
That fuel levy. True.
So it's no longer available for that. Let me tell you, the things you see President Trump doing in Venezuela will affect non-oil producing countries like Kenya that are headed to elections more than they will affect Nicolas Maduro. Any variation in fuel prices globally is not a very good thing. However, I would wish the fuel prices remain low so that this stability can continue, because my issue and my conclusion, I would always wish every president does the very best when they have the position, and they do better to the country than they got it. so that they bequeath a better country to the coming generation.
Sure.
It is only that route that Kenya will, in a stable manner, move up the economic ladder.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, Member of Parliament, Kiharu, former budget chair.
Asante sana.
You will tell us what the future looks like for you. Asante sana,
yeah.
And even for hosting us here and at the school. Thank you for the good job.
Asante sana.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to all viewers.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. And I wish you blessings as we approach this new year 2026. Na muambie Karaja alipe maembe yangu.
Asante sana. Atanipea invoice. Thank you very much. That is the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, the Member of Parliament for Kiharu, who spoke to us from Kiharu constituency. He insisted that we had to come to the ground. Happy New Year. Enjoy 2026.